Hey, thanks for tuning in. This is another tips and tricks video for anyone who's trying to beat True Nightmare and get their diamond ranks, this time featuring the rocket launcher. These videos are less guides and more full playthroughs of a typical True Nightmare run, where I share my thought process and decision making to help you secure your victory without needing to rely too much on RNG. I'll be trying to touch on fundamental concepts like putting together a build, dealing with each type of enemy, island strategies, and probably a little bit of movement tech here and there. I try to make these videos stand alone, but if you find it helpful, I highly recommend checking out the other videos in the series, even though some of them might be out of date by the time you watch this. Rocket Launcher is a pretty contentious weapon, and maybe the weapon most defined by specific mods and perks, such as Arc Shot or Split Shot, and this makes it feel even more dependent on RNG. I'm going to try to show that it's totally possible to have a great rocket launcher run without hitting those key mods and perks, and I'm going to do that by being mindful of its strengths and weaknesses. The main thing players seem to struggle with is its single target damage. Rocket Launcher has a pretty fair base damage at 35 per shot, which lets it scale off of weapon mods pretty easily, but its attack speed can make taking on tougher targets feel like a bit of a slog. Conversely, it has a very large AoE on its attacks, and being able to apply a high amount of damage in a large area instantly makes it the king of AoE, in my opinion. For reference, even though the explosion looks like it would only be maybe like about here, it can actually hit targets from even this far out. So I'm probably going to be trying to exploit that as much as possible, and I might even be taking like Horde Island stuff as much as possible just to take advantage of that AoE. For my abilities, while normally I would probably say Ice Blast is a pretty safe pick for anyone who's just like new to the game and wants something nice and accessible, I think for this run, in an effort to try to cover for its single target woes, I'm going to be taking Laser Beam, which I think is probably the best single target choice out of all the abilities. And my goal is not necessarily to use this as my single target source, but rather to help me out in the early game until I have enough room to sort of build out my damage. And for my weapon, I'm probably going to go with the hammer, just to help out with AoE and burst even more, as well as gives me a little bit of mobility. For the key totem, I'm actually not going to be rolling anything at all, because I really want to showcase that these runs are totally possible to win without sitting here and re-rolling the key totem over and over until you get something good. I think this goes doubly true for Rocket Launcher, as it may feel tempting to re-roll over and over for the Arc Shot or for the Split Shot, but I really want to showcase that, you know, I might not even find that at all this run, and I bet I can win it just out of the gate. As another little tidbit about keys, I have over 2,000 keys currently, so I don't really have any need to pick them up anymore. As I do these runs, I tend to salvage the keys that I get in order to get a couple extra crystals during the run. If you need keys, then, you know, feel free to pick them up and use them as you will. But if you don't need keys, highly recommend salvaging them for a little bit of extra crystals coming in as you run. So with that all said, let's get started. I think like the biggest thing that I would tell anyone when it comes to True Nightmare is, especially in the first loop before you can really get any armor, it's pretty important to just play pretty defensively. There's truly no reason for you to go in range of anyone if you can avoid it. Here I'm just going to be using my backdash and like sliding backwards in order to stay away from everything. Yeah, I don't need to pick up crystals. I don't really need to engage with enemies at all. This is just the safest way to play, and I think playing safe is a great way to handle Nightmare. The real goal here is to survive until we can get enough damage to just start killing everything. So this first pull is actually a pretty good one. Recoil shot's actually not bad. I think that's like a 66%, and remember, we have pretty high base damage with 35 per shot, so this is probably going to add like a healthy 15 or 20 or something to my shots. However, I actually think I'm going to pick up the damage combo. Another thing that I need to keep in mind is, even though it's pretty safe to focus on weapon damage when you can on Rocket Launcher, especially because that's where a lot of your main damage comes from, I also definitely want to focus on global damage to help out with everything else that I might find along the way. My laser beam, my hammer, any mods that I find. And damage combo is a really great source of global damage, as long as you can maintain your combo, which I'm going to be trying to do so with with armor pickups here and there. So I'm going to grab that. Danger Close is an okay option too, but out of those three, I definitely want the damage combo. Another little pro tip, you probably just saw there that I used the auto loot at the end of the island. I'm going to be doing this at the end of every island. Mine's bound to Q, and if you've been playing for a while, it's probably on Q, but the default is L nowadays. The reason why I do that is because if there is a hidden chest that spawns on the island and you use the auto loot key, if that chest is there, you can hear it open and kind of get an idea of where it spawns. On this island, it spawns up here, but it's obviously not here now, so well, I'm sure we'll run into it eventually and you can kind of see what I mean. This is a pretty interesting choice. Elemental on Rocket Launcher, I feel, is a little bit weaker than it would be on the other weapons. It's not bad. Like Lightning is a really strong choice for Rocket Launcher, and I also like Arcane just to help out with my single target damage a little bit more. I do think I want to go for this double damage. This seems like a really great way to like start ramping my damage as soon as possible, which in my opinion is the best way to start off any run. Just get as much damage as possible. The one hit is a little scary, but I think with the Rocket Launcher AoE and the laser beam, I should be safe enough. Yeah, we'll give it a try. A little spooky. Throw down a laser beam there. On this island in particular, I kind of like to run over here and then jump over everything. I'm just taking it nice and slow. I'm not worrying too much about like running around too much. Yeah, that was a little spooky, but let's talk about this island real quick. So you start off in this corner, and this is kind of a dangerous spot to be. I tend to try to get over there as soon as possible just to give me a little bit more room to work around with without having enemies spawn all around me. If you're quick enough, you can do what I did and just jump across. But if you want to take the safer route, this place can be a good route to take as well. There's just a lot of coverage around here. And usually if the island's too dicey, I'll try to get onto this ledge and then jump right here. And you can usually make it to that ledge right there by just doing a standard dash, even though I'm clearly failing at it now. Ooh. Oh, wow. Look at that. Can he actually do it? Yeah, he can. And this just gives you a little bit of a buffer zone, and you can jump over everything to try to corral them in this area right here. You'll see me doing that a lot, where I try to keep all of the enemies in a group in front of me, and I try to control them in that one group. This is a great place to kind of like showcase that, where if I come up here, enemies are going to come here in order to meet me, and that lets me kind of like stack them up, and when I jump over them, come over here, I now have a group of enemies that I can AoE down. Let's see what we got here. That's another damage combo. That's pretty nice. These other choices are not as great. Sonic Boom I don't really care about. Imploding Grenade could be okay for the laser beam, but I think this is a clear damage combo. And this one is definitely the time shot. This time shot is going to help me out a lot with my single target damage as I start fighting elites and bosses. Especially because I might have an opportunity to get some crit here. Time shot has an interesting dynamic with crit, where even though it staggers your damage over time and might make it feel like you're killing things slower, each of those ticks from time shot can crit, and that can activate critical effects such as critical blast or critical arrow, which can help out with your single target damage a lot. If I didn't pull this time shot, I probably would take the snake shot, and I imagine I'll take one of the trajectory altering weapon mods later on at some point, but we'll talk about that then. These kind of mods can be kind of tricky on Rocket Launcher, but they can also be a really great source of your damage. So I think I'll take the time shot. And this is actually kind of an iffy choice. Like I said, I kind of want the crit for that time shot interaction. Luck is kind of tempting too, just to try to get maybe a little bit of an ammo regeneration early on, or like a driller. I probably will do this. This seems like the more reliable pick. I'll find crit eventually, I'm sure, and I don't necessarily need it right now. The nice thing about time shot is that the damage effect activates even if you hit them with the AoE. You can kind of see, like, I'm not necessarily aiming for enemies directly. I tend to aim at the ground. For the most part, during this whole run, I'm going to be aiming at the ground. Even in these skulls, like, they are kind of technically close enough to be hit. Let's break the shield. Okay, so out of this selection, I'm probably going to go Driller. I think Driller's a really great choice right now for some early ramp. You will find me breaking rocks and crystals and stuff on the island as much as possible. Even without Driller, there is a small chance for an item to spawn from those rocks. But with Driller, it really starts kicking off, especially if you can find even more Drillers, and especially as we get into the desert biome where there's a lot of cacti. Rig totems is kind of whatever, in my opinion. It can be nice if you really like to lean into totems. I personally don't, because I think they're a little unreliable. An autoloader could be okay too, especially on the rocket launcher where there's a really good chance that it's going to proc whenever we hit a bunch of like smaller crabs at the same time. But this is definitely a Driller choice. And for this one, I'm going to go economy primarily because an early economy chest is always a great idea. You should try to get as much economy as early as possible. I like to shoot for like 2 or 3 economy islands when I can. But this is also a great opportunity to show off demolition islands and how I usually handle those. Since we have Driller, I'm just going to pop these real quick. Those rocks down there probably don't matter too much anyway. Hit that one too. I don't see any other rocks, so we're probably good there. On demolition islands, the way that these work is when you hit one of these nests, enemies will spawn. As you can see, like I'm just hanging out here and no enemies are spawning. This means that your ability to do the island is kind of dependent on how quickly you can break these nests. If you do plenty of damage, you can kill them pretty easily. You can probably ignore enemies and just focus on breaking them. But if you do them pretty slowly, like I'm probably about to do now, I don't think I have that much damage. I'm actually going to be really taking my time, and whenever enemies spawn, I'm going to focus on killing them before I go back to killing the nest. The big reason for this is because if you just wail on these nests constantly and keep spawning enemies, you can get overwhelmed very easily. And just be mindful of the fact that when you break one of the nests, chances are you're going to spawn stuff from the other nests, like this. Ooh. Yes. Oh, that one's just hanging out. See that time shot really doing work. I'm pretty easily one-shotting stuff just because of that. Time shot's great too because it's a 100% damage bonus. Which maybe this is a great opportunity to talk about like damage in general, since I have both time shot and damage combo. The way damage works in this game is it's broken up into your weapon damage and your global damage. Any bonuses to weapon damage are based off of your weapon's base damage. Kind of like we talked about earlier, I'm doing about 35 damage per shot. Since this increases my weapon damage by 100%, it gives me 35 bonus damage. So now my shots are doing 70 damage per shot. This weapon damage typically only comes from weapon mods, and global damage tends to only come from perks. Global damage applies to everything. The formula is it takes your damage plus your weapon damage, and then it multiplies that by your global damage. So because of that, global damage tends to be your best way to scale on a lot of weapons, because at some point your damage is going to come a lot more from on-hit and on-shot proc mods such as Bubble Shot, Dagger Arc, Spark Shot, that sort of thing. Or even like crit effects or elemental effects more than necessarily your weapon. With Rocket Launcher, however, there is a lot more emphasis on your weapon damage. Since the base damage is so high, and a lot of my like utility from the weapon comes from my AoE. For this one, I think I'm going to go with the Crystal Dividends. Crystal combo is a great choice too, especially because I have the damage combo, so I can probably play around the combo a lot anyway. I think Crystal Dividends is like the best economy perk in the game right now. It's just like kind of free money as long as you're maintaining a good pool of money, so I'm probably going to take that. Ring of Value is pretty okay too. There is a trick that you can do with Ring of Value. Whatever item you find that's 75% off, if you buy it, you can you can always salvage it for more than you spent on it. So even if you don't need that item, it's usually worth buying it just to do it. Kind of like a cheesy little trick, but I'm definitely going to be taking the crystal dividends here. And this is a pretty tough choice. I think the damage island would be okay, but I think I'm actually going to go for this waves island and try to get an epic chest to help me out. And I'm just going to take it nice and easy. Only so many enemies spawn from these first waves, so you can definitely take your time with it. I'm also going to make sure to focus on breaking these rocks. We got a launcher crab there. Got to be careful about the fire damage from those rocks, though. Those will end my waves island. You can see here I'm kind of trying to play around cover, just so I don't get hit. Nice. I hate pumpkins. Just doing my best to stay as far away from everything as possible. There's really no reason for me to be anywhere close to these things. Don't know where the last enemy is. There you are. I'm playing a lot around this structure in the middle to help give me cover. Did see a fire crab. I'm a little bit worried about that. But there it is. Nice, got the epic chest. That's a minigun crab. That's going to be really awkward. This is actually, yeah, okay. I was about to say, this is a pretty tough island or pretty tough spawn to avoid a hit, but I'm glad I got the epic chest anyway. I think I'll probably go the scatter shot. This is a pretty good choice on rocket launcher to help me out with a little bit extra AoE. It has a pretty good chance out of the gate, and this is like another one of the big strengths on rocket launcher. The proc chance for individual levels of a perk or a mod are usually really high. 60% for just level 1. This means that if I got a level 2, this would probably hit 100%. The downside is that you don't usually have enough attack speed to necessarily proc it very often, but it's still super worth picking up. And we'll probably talk a little bit about proc rates and how that actually plays into the equation of playing the game, because the game is not necessarily built around like your DPS or your ability to proc a mod over X amount of time. It's more about finding windows to attack and what you can do during those windows. There's very rarely are you ever going to be able to just hold down left click on a target, hit every shot, and not be threatened at all to really maximize your DPS. This is kind of a tough island because I really want the health chest for a little bit extra armor and health, but a double damage demolition is kind of free damage. The big thing here, this is tough. The other thing to consider is that the last island at each biome before the shop is usually going to be the toughest. So if I hit this health chest, it's probably going to be a decently tough island, which does make the demolition a little bit more appealing because it's kind of inherently safer. But the one shot can kind of help with that a little bit. If I do the damage, I'm kind of banking on finding some sort of armor at the shop. I'm going to do the damage, play it safe. I also figured that most people would probably take the damage here, so maybe it's best to just play it out like most people would play it out. I do want to make sure I don't get hit, so I'm going to try to find a nice place to hang out where there's not like barrels or anything nearby like this. Yeah, we'll start with this one. Staying as far away as possible. In a second here, I'll probably talk about moving in water, because it can be kind of tough since water slows down your movement a little bit. Okay, this is where it might get a little spicy because a lot of things are going to spawn all at once. I'm just going to try to focus on... I got hit. Ooh, I thought I was going to dodge that. That's alright though. It is kind of nice to take your time on demolition islands just for the sake of getting like more crystals too. If I did break all those nests all at the same time, I don't necessarily get as many crystals out of the island. And that is something to consider a lot of the time. Nice, got a driller proc. Oh, that's a lot of stuff. Took a lot of damage there when I didn't really want to, but I think I'll be okay just because I have a shop coming up and I can heal off of it. I'm gonna see what the driller dropped. Hey, some armor. Nice. Too bad I only found about that just now. I do think I'm gonna use this shotgun crab to sort of showcase a core like movement concept when dealing with enemies. Enemies in this game kind of read your inputs, and they kind of track where you're moving and try to shoot in front of you to meet you. This is exploitable a lot of the time. Right here, I'm holding left, and we see that the shotgun crab is kind of shooting more to the right. Or I'm sorry, I'm holding right and the shotgun crab is shooting more to the right. Same thing if I were to move left, right? This is me holding left, shotgun crab is moving a little bit more to the left. I can exploit this whenever I like slow down. Notice how I'm slowing down and I'm holding right, or I'm holding left, and the shotgun crab is very much overshooting to try to catch me because it sees that I'm holding right or left. But because I'm slowed down, I'm actually not moving fast enough for the bullets to actually hit me. So you'll often see me do this to try to give myself free windows of attacking without getting threatened too much. This is a really great way to deal with things like lightning crabs or fire crabs too. Just to give you like, oh, it respawned. Just to give you a couple more free moments of attacking something head on. Okay, so mag shot is probably not the play because the magazine for the rocket launcher is really low to begin with. Ultra shot is probably also not the play. That's kind of a better weapon or item for a faster firing weapon that can proc very often to help with its DPS. Getting an extra ultra shot like every couple seconds is really not that great. I think the firework shot is the play here. I have a decent chance to proc it right out of the gate, and it will just help out a little bit with my AoE and my single target. I haven't gotten a single proc out of it yet. There we go. I don't have too much money to work with. This lightning explosion would be really cool to grab, actually, but I don't think I'll have enough money to work with it. So let's talk about enhancements real quick. If you are relatively new to the game, enhancements come from this enhancement totem in the shop. When you spend crystals at this totem, it will target a random enhanceable mod in your inventory and apply a random enhancement to it, up to 3 enhancements. It is a random selection of mods, but you can get around that by just dropping everything but the mod that you want to enhance. In this case, I only have firework shots, so this would be the only thing that gets hit. And the enhancement mods, or enhancements, can vary from, it's usually going to be something trajectory altering like chaotic, or spiraling, or snaking. It could be something that like multiplies your projectiles, either splitting or scattering. Or it could be an elemental effect, like toxifying, flaming, or even just straight damage. There's one just called damaging that increases the damage of the mod. The real thing to keep in mind about enhancements is that almost all of them, except for a few, also give a damage bonus of about 50%. So even if you get something like homing on Thorn Shot, which already has like a homing effect to it, it's still totally worth it. It's not like you just wasted money on nothing. It's just you got 50% free damage. I don't think I'm going to enhance this firework shot because I'm not sure that I'm going to be building around it, and I kind of want to use my money for other stuff. The rest of the choices here aren't too great. I am going to be hip firing quite a bit, and I don't think I'm really going to be using aiming quite that much, but I don't think I want to spend money on that right now. The regenerator could be okay, but in a general sense, I try to avoid healing mods and perks as much as possible. Just because they're not really that useful, and if you're taking enough damage that you need some sort of healing, then you probably need to consider why you're getting hit to begin with. Another time shot sounds great. That's just going to be another 100% damage, so now I'm doing about 105 per shot. Damage doesn't quite work out, or the DPS doesn't quite work out like that. It's kind of interesting. This is kind of tempting, so we'll probably get more into like hot shot versus sharpshooter when we get to a crit island. I think sharpshooter versus hot shot is a lot of personal preference. If you feel comfortable enough that you're not going to get hit, then hot shot is just kind of objectively the better choice. Since you are inherently going to be stacking crit, you need to be prepared for taking a lot more damage when you do actually get hit. And in my experience, this has hurt me more than it's really helped. So I tend to stack sharpshooter instead. It usually gives me enough crit to like do what I want to do anyway, so I like it. I like it as a safer option, so I'm not going to take this hot shot. I think I actually am going to take the bronze heart. This will help out with my armor value a little bit. If you don't know, each armor plate that you have is equal to 15% of your max health and the amount of damage that it can reduce. So you want to kind of balance between getting max health and giving armor plates. That's all the money I got, so I'm going to jump into this elite and hope for the best. It looks like we got a poison grub and a barrel skull. I think I'm going to try to take out the barrel skull first, as that one's kind of the more threatening option. I can even use these rocks to help me out. Throw down a laser beam every now and then as well. Oh, I got hit by the end. That was awkward. The poison grub decided to jump on me, I guess. Thankfully, I'm not getting any spawns from ads, which makes this all the easier. There we are. I like using cover a lot on Rocket Launcher. Like I said, I'm using that AoE as much as possible because it's so big, so it helps me like hide around cover and just shoot rockets off for free because I know that I can still hit them and they can't hit me. Like I said, I'm going to be salvaging keys. Let's see what we got for this epic chest. Alright, that's a pretty nice pull. We'll get the heart here. So I'm actually going to be taking the piercing shot. Damage grenade could be helpful for my laser beam damage, but like I said, I'm not really going to be leaning into that too much. Arcane Blast could be okay, because I like Arcane on Rocket Launcher. My fire rate's just a little too slow to help out with that right now. I think Piercing Shot is definitely going to be the play here. There is an interaction with Piercing Shot and Rocket Launcher that can really help out with your single target damage. If you shoot at something and they're against a wall or you're shooting down at the ground, the rocket will pierce through it and then explode behind them and sort of do damage twice. So piercing shot's a really great way to just get a little bit of extra damage without really needing to even invest in it too much. You really just need one, and they're not too hard to find. It helps that I also have scattering shot, so I have the potential of those rockets sort of like scattering and bouncing back into the enemy and doing 3 hits, technically. I'll try to hit that first. I'm also going to try to visit this hallway, make sure there's not any rocks or crystals or anything like that. Nope, not quite. That's okay. I don't know where that ant went. I'm sure it is just around the corner here. Yep, there you are. On this island, you can hang out in this room if you want because it's a little bit more open and you're not going through this bottleneck right here. If you do hang out here, you need to keep in mind that enemies will come this side to flank you. So you need to make a decision of like if you're going to charge through here after you've killed a lot of enemies, or if you're going to try to like hug around here and deal with everything that you find. You can instead just move immediately into here, and that will usually make them all funnel this way, and you won't get flanked behind you. You just have to play a little bit, I guess, more dangerously, as more enemies will be coming at you. Another time shot seems great. I don't want to take bouncing shot. My struggle with bouncing shot is, like I said, I'm going to be leveraging shooting against the ground as much as possible. And bouncing shot will cause the rocket to bounce off the ground and into a wall and then explode. So it kind of nerfs my splash damage a little bit. More time shot sounds great. I think time shot's going to be my main damage here. And I definitely want to go health. I need to find some armor as a bit of a safety net for my combo. This seems to be a blocker island, which isn't too bad. Oh, there's an ice slug. I'm gonna try to put myself in a spot where I can see everything in front of me. I can deal with threats that are coming at me. Nothing is flanking around me. Seems pretty good now. I'd like to pop that rock. Yeah, cool. Nice. We'll go break the shield. Nice. Crystal combo, that's awesome. Great pickup. As another little pro tip, in general, I think like the best thing you can do when it comes to avoiding enemies is find high ground and exploit it. You probably saw at the beginning there, I moved this way, but there were plenty of enemies blocking me off, especially blocker crabs, which can be a little bit challenging to get around just directly by jumping through. So I actually jumped up here instead and just jumped over them as much as possible. I'm going to be doing that a lot, and I'm going to be using launch pads to do that specifically. We'll talk about that when I find an island with some launch pads. There's some armor. These other choices aren't too great. I definitely want the armor. And this one's pretty tough too, because I do want to continue ramping up my driller, but I also want some armor. I think I will go for the luck chest and continue trying to ramp up the driller and ensure that I'm getting a lot of items throughout the next few biomes. I think I'll be okay with just one armor protecting my combo. I'm feeling pretty good about my damage right now. Enemies tend to kill themselves on this island. But you'll just want to be careful about the ones that might sneak around you. Don't know where the last one is. Probably right here. Nope, there you are. Dang, it sniped out of the air. There's an arc shot. Man, I really want to demonstrate that I don't need arc shot to win this, so I think I'm going to intentionally skip this for now. I'll probably pick one up later. Whenever I see my next arc shot, I'll pick it up. But if you find an arc shot this early, great. Like that's a really awesome pickup for rocket launcher. Here, I think I'm gonna go for the skill chest. The spike chest wouldn't be bad either. Just to help out with like fishing for an epic item, maybe even an arc shot. I'm gonna go for the skill chest, and I think what I really want to find is a big chest or a coral amulet, or in order to help out with like getting more choices. It's also a demolition island, so it's kind of just free. If I don't get that, I don't really know what else I care to get. Like I could do a big mag maybe. Yeah, we'll just have to see. And all you can eat would be pretty fantastic too. I can't believe I got an arc shot on the second luck chest. I was really hoping that would have happened. Oh, this guy's shielded. I am doing pretty fair damage, that's for sure. Getting so many time shots early on is definitely helpful. Arguably more helpful than the arc shot, though. It's definitely an argument. As like a general movement pro tip, you'll probably see that I don't really like dash around too much, and it's mostly because I'm saving my dash for when I really need to do something, especially because your dash has iframes on it, which in game is referred to as parrying. Whenever you dash through a projectile of some sort, you'll hear like a whooshing sound, and that will indicate that you parried that projectile. I'll tend to move just by jumping around and sliding, kind of like a weird bunny hopping tactic. and I'll save my dash for when I either like need a sudden burst of momentum, or if I need to like avoid a projectile. These are kind of whatever. Slugger could be kind of fun with the AoE that I'm trying to do, but I think I'm actually going to take the bigger boom and make my laser beam bigger. So that sounds cool. And I think I really want this speed chest. Honestly, more than like arc shot or split shot, you need attack speed. You absolutely need to find at least like a supercharge or two, or a bunch of rapid fires. So as much as I want some more armor, I'm going to try to risk this. I just need to keep in mind with both shrapnel and spike strikes, I can't melee anything, otherwise it's going to probably hurt. And B, if it gets too crazy, especially with the AoE from the rocket launcher, I just need to stop shooting things, because it'll get too many shrapnels. There's a launcher crab that I want to kill real quick. I also see a laser crab. Or not laser crab, but laser skull. I see two laser skulls. Oh, another launcher crab. Just gonna try to hug the edge here to give me as much range as possible and just keep moving right and left to avoid the laser skull projectile. There we go. Another big pro tip for Nightmare is it really comes down to target prioritization a lot of the time. Knowing which targets that are the most threatening to you at any given moment and making sure to deal with them is really the way to win. So for this, I'm going to take the rapid fire to help out with my attack speed, and then so like light shot would actually be a pretty fair choice here to help out with my attack speed. The damage reduction is not too bad, and it's strictly just a reduction of your base damage. I don't remember what the value is. I think it's like 30% maybe, so I'm losing maybe like 10 damage for a pretty significant boost in attack speed. That said, I've been feeling pretty okay without having a ton of attack speed, especially with the piercing shot and the scattering shot. And this aerial shot's actually pretty tempting. Basically, whenever I'm in the air, I'm just going to be doing that much more damage, which I'm in the air a lot, so I think that's a fair pickup. And I definitely want a relic here. I think relics are really strong right now, and I might even be able to find the armor relic. Ooh. Oh, that's a homing grip. This is awkward. Yeah, I got hit there. What's this? Oh, another piercing shot. That was a pretty tough island. Kind of unfortunate. I got a little too greedy. Trying to get around the lightning skull and the homing grub there. Should be fine though. Use this cover as much as possible. Alright, what do we got? Both of those are pretty mediocre. I think I'll take the Ring of Destruction because I can actually see myself using it, whereas like Ring of Healing can be nice, especially if you're trying to exploit any totems, but like I don't necessarily need it right now. I'm gonna heal off pretty easily, so I think I'm just gonna take the Ring of Destruction, and if it ends up not being helpful, nice, Glass Totem and Fuse Totem. If it ends up not being helpful, then I'll sell it later on. So we got Vampire and another Time Shot. Great. I'm not gonna hit this Greed Totem because again I want to try to not get swayed by RNG too much. I will hold on to the Vampire, even though I don't need healing, and honestly Vampire's not even really that great anyway. There's no reason for me to get rid of this right now. This is just going to continue accumulating value and how much it will salvage for as I go along, and I'm probably only going to salvage it when I absolutely need to, whether that be because my slots are full and I just want to get rid of it, or because I don't have enough money to unlock a slot and I just need to get rid of it. For these choices, the heart's kind of tempting, but I really want to reroll and see if I might be able to swing getting some armor. The snake shot is kind of tempting too. This might be a good opportunity to show that, like, so if you're shooting snake shot, it's a little wily, and that can make hitting single targets a little tougher. But remember, we're playing a lot around the AoE, and when I have such large AoE and I'm shooting at the ground anyway, it doesn't really matter if I have Snake Shot or any other shot. I'm hitting the target no matter what. So this is just bonus damage, and because the rocket launcher has such high base damage, this is actually a pretty fair amount of bonus damage. Okay, this is interesting. So I definitely want the sharpshooter because I want to get some crit going. And I'm pretty tempted to keep stacking the time shot. I'm getting pretty fortunate with the amount of time shots that I'm getting delivered. Bullseye's kind of tempting too because I am one-shotting things for the most part. But I do think I'm going to take the crystal combo. Just to help out with my econ a little bit. Was that my second one? Yeah. I don't have a combo going right now, and it doesn't look like I'm going to... I'm going to reroll once more. There's a gold armor. Wow. Like, there's no way I can afford that, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. That's actually kind of an unfortunate pull. I would have much rather had, like a blue armor. In fact, these are probably not worth investing in. I could sell the firework shot. I could sell the firework shot and the bigger boom to get an aerial shot. Is that actually worth it? Probably not. Probably not currently. Okay, this is a great island to show the launch pad tech. So I'm going to be using launch pads as much as possible during this run. I haven't been on too many islands where I've needed to. But as you can see, maintaining some sort of aerial superiority helps you not get hits. And we'll talk about exactly how I'm doing this once this island's over. I think I'm going to try to target this barrel skull first because he can be kind of annoying. Also going to blow up those barrels to help out with my damage overall. Barrel skulls are interesting because I think they're definitely one of the more threatening of the elites, but at the same time they are the more likely to help you kill all the other elites because of all the barrels. These are kind of whatever. No armor still, that's unfortunate. Again, damage grenade for the laser beam could be pretty helpful. I think I will go the duplication ring, because I don't think it's impossible for me to flawless an elite or a boss island. So let's talk about launch pads. Launch pads are the greatest way to just get in the air, obviously, and if you hold down your slowdown and you spam your dash, you can stay in the air even longer, and it's just a really great way to avoid all the attacks. The main tech tip that you should know about launch pads is this is about where you'd go if you're just touching it normally. If you were to hold down, not hold down necessarily, but if you're pressing jump as soon as you hit the launch pad, you get much higher. In general, in the game, if you press jump at the same time that you are propelled in some matter, those two forms of momentum sort of add to each other, and you can get a lot higher as a result. This works with hammer too. This is the normal jump height with hammer. You can see I probably got to like about here. But if I hammer and then jump immediately after, I get a little bit higher, and you'll see me do that tech a lot too, in order to get to a really high spot really quickly. And you can dash at the top of your jump in order to get propelled forward a little bit. So now that we're on the desert biome, this is where I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of Driller. Each of these cacti have a chance to proc Driller. So as I run around, I'm going to try to prioritize breaking cacti as much as possible. And if it kills stuff along the way, you know, that's swell. Alright, it's probably another time shot. Another snake shot could be kind of funny. I don't think I want to ramp up that snake shot too much. I think this chaotic shot is pretty much going to be the same amount of damage, yeah. Yeah, and it doesn't make it too chaotic. I can still easily AoE stuff. I'm definitely going to go with the health chest here. Speed is a great idea, because I want that attack speed, and I also want a stamina, frankly. But I need some sort of armor to protect my combo, because a lot of my economy and my damage is coming from the combo. I've got a glass totem too. This island can be pretty sketchy. And I'll talk about... Oh boy. That was interesting. I caught a really strange angle there, and that was not helpful. Oh, that wasn't helpful either. Oh boy. Got a driller proc at least. That was overall very unfortunate. I don't even know what happened there. I think I don't know if I dashed by mistake or if I caught it at an angle that caused me to like bounce into the wall. That was very strange. So this map can be tough because this arena down here is like pretty frantic if you stay down here, which makes this launch pad a really excellent choice to get some aerial and like get up here and fight things from up here. The problem is when enemies get stuck in this tunnel, if they get stuck in there for too long, they start activating anti-camping, and that's when you have like the enemies like flying up to you and randomly attacking you. Still no armor. I think I will go for a health chest here. I really need armor. Just one plate would be fine to help me with my combo. Luck chest is tempting because I want to get that driller going. But I'll be fine with that driller for now. I might not be fine without the armor. I see a launcher crab. I'm going to focus that real quick before I worry about breaking things. If there's one launcher crab, there may be two. Nice, double proc. A time shot, that's great. And a lightning shot, nice. When it comes to elements on Rocket Launcher, I think Lightning Shot is probably the best. It just plays so well into what you're trying to do with the Rocket Launcher. Still no armor. I'm going to be running it back, I guess. Other elements can be fine. I think I tend to prefer Arcane because you have a pretty good chance of proccing Arcane on each shot. And it just helps out a little bit more with your single target damage, especially because it can crit and activate any crit effects, which for this build, I'm going to be trying to lean into those crit effects once I can. Poison can be fine, but unlike on other weapons where poison is generally just like the best choice, Rocket Launcher tends to struggle applying it without like significant investment. You need like Toxic in order to make each of your shots apply a lot of stacks all at once. You need a lot of poison shots in order to like ensure that you can actually proc the stacks. And all in all, it just ends up being a lot of investment for what is kind of not really that much more damage compared to a lot of other things that you could be investing in, as opposed to a faster firing weapon that like can ramp it up really easily and then take advantage of those same stacks really easily. So poison is kind of okay. I like fire for the same reason as arcane. I think I'm going to take the bullseye here. I feel like I'm doing a decent job one-shotting stuff. Definitely going to take the armor. And here we're going to go for the damage. Fire can be good for the same reason as arcane, where it's just like extra DPS. You do need to... Fire kind of falls into the same trap as poison, where like you do need to be able to stack it fairly quickly. This is a lot of scorpions. I'm going to try to stay as far away as possible. Ooh. I'm still not quite used to the scorpion projectiles. So yeah, you kind of need to commit to fire too if you want that to be a big part of your damage build. I really like lightning and arcane, personally. Oh, that was a wily little shot, look at that. More time shot sounds great. Hey, we got an extra chest. So I think there's two ways to get to this chest. I think the intended way is that you would jump up here and use these columns. It's kind of tough to make it to that one, but you can do it with a slowdown at the end. Same with this one, you kind of need to use your slowdown to, hey, crystal fertilizer, to make it across, like this. The way that I typically do it is these little like cracks in the structure can serve as ledges. It's a little trickier, but you can jump on one and walk up, and then jump on the next one. And then here, if you have hammer, you can usually just, you know, jump up. If you don't have hammer, and maybe even this is a easier way to do it in general, I usually jump out and then dash back in like that. You can use the slowdown if you need a little bit of help getting the timing down. Kind of like this. You can just kind of spam your dash and you'll probably make it up eventually. Yeah, Crystal Fertilizer is great. That'll work with our driller pretty well. I'm gonna go for the spike chest because I have a shop right afterwards, and this could be a good opportunity to get like a decent epic of some sort. Oh, there's a gold chest, or gold rock. I really wanted to suck that up, but... Suck that up? I don't know where that came from. Oh, that's a lot of scorpion. We're gonna wind back. We're gonna wind all the way back. Yeah. I'm at danger of losing my combo. There's actually quite a few tricky enemies on this one. Looks like we're doing okay. Desert biome is pretty straightforward in that, like, you really just want to stay as far away as possible from everything. If you do get into a situation where there's a lot of projectiles coming your way, you can use the dunes as cover. Like, this will actually block you from a lot of attacks. Even more so with, like, a dune like this. You can kind of poke your head out, fire a shot off, duck back down, fire a shot off. This is really what I mean by, like, this is a great opportunity to talk about this, actually. In most cases, like, your weapon's DPS and your weapon's proc rate is kind of... It's not all about the mathematics, because it's more about the windows of opportunity that you have to attack rather than you being able to just hold down left click. Because, like, you're only going to have certain windows where you can safely poke your head out and attack, versus, like, when you're running around and trying to avoid things. And that's where Rocket Launcher really shines. Like, it has a lot of bang for the buck during those windows, where you can shoot one rocket off, focus on dodging, shoot one rocket off, and you know that, like, you're gonna have a good chance from that one rocket to do quite a bit of damage. So triple shot, very similar to arc shot, great choice on Rocket Launcher. It's gonna help out a lot. I'm going to continue to avoid the formation mods in order to prove the point that you don't necessarily need them in order to, like, carry you through the run. I'll find some eventually, but this actually seems like a great opportunity to find a critical blast to help out with my time shot, which might honestly be more damage overall. Time shot and critical blast are really good together. So this would be a great use case for that ring of healing, and maybe I should have taken it after all. If I fully healed from entering the shop, that leaves all of this healing to be used for these loot totems and stuff like that. I'll probably hit at least one, maybe. Yeah. I don't think I care for that. And I don't know if I want to... Well, I'm going to leave that there. I also like to hit gamble totems at least once because the first pull is usually really cheap. If I waste 745 crystals, it's really no big deal. But if I get a mod or something for the 745 crystals, you know, that could be really nice. For this, definitely picking up the armor. Been looking for that. I want to pick up another driller too. And I guess since, I mean, I've held on to the fireworks shot, I might as well get another one. That'll help me with my proc rate, and maybe I can justify enhancing it now? That's a lot of crystals to enhance. I'm going to reroll and see what else I can get. Probably more armor. Yeah, I'm going to sell the health shot and just amp up my armor by quite a bit. I feel like I'm in a pretty good spot now. I got a full combo too, so damage combo's giving me quite a bit of damage. Oh, yeah, we got a fire crab. Gonna still try to break these. We got a poison grub too. That one should be okay. So we're gonna focus on the fire crab first for sure. Although I do have a bit of an opportunity to kill the poison grub. Oh, yeah. I'm eating my words about that snake shot. There we go. Just gonna stay as far away as possible from the fire crab. It may jump at me eventually, and I'll just need to be careful about that. clean up the grubs while we're kiting around. Poison grubs are generally going to be pretty harmless. It just gets kind of iffy when there's a lot of grubs chasing you. Seems like we're doing okay though. Nice. Another time shot. The game really wants to give me time shots. I'm already at 7, that's awesome. These are kind of mediocre. I'll get the bronze armor to cap off, and I think I'll go for the bubble blast. Firework explosion could be okay too. I don't want shockwave. I just don't think I'm really going to be getting a lot of value out of it. Bubble blast is great, and it actually works really well with laser beam. It's probably not something that I'm going to be focusing on too much, but out of those choices, you know, it could be worse. I think I got a heart there. Nice. I'm going to try to pick up that heart mid-fight, because if I get hit, it just means that I'll take less damage on my armor. I'm actually kind of tempted to take the trick shot, because I am doing a lot of fire shooting. I'll probably get rid of it eventually, but for now it's just it's a free 18 damage. And I'm feeling really good on my max health. 1200 max health right now is like a good amount to have. And I'm full on plates, so this is definitely a damage option. From here, I'm probably going to be going damage all the time, unless I run out of armor. I think I at least have enough max health generation from Bullseye to keep me going. Oh, stepped in the lava a little bit there. I try to come over here and look for more rocks. Most of the rocks spawn on this part of the island, in this little section. This is also oh boy, a great launch pad to use. You can jump up here and just rain fire on everything. This is also a good demonstration of why, like, things like snake shot and chaotic shot, like, yeah, if you're shooting at something in the air, it's going to be kind of hard to hit them. But if you're just shooting at the ground, it doesn't really matter either way. Enemies also like to get stuck here. There you are. Nice. I also just like to do this jump to check if the chest is there. The chest spawns right there. Alright, wow, these are not good. I think I'll take the spiral grenade, because I think heavy grenade is just kind of hard to play around, and spiral grenade doesn't matter too much for laser beam. Ooh, a one-hit barrel rain versus a greed chest. Like I said, I'm trying to avoid greed chests. Greed perks just tend to sway RNG too much. So with this, the double speed chest is great too. I really need attack speed. With this, I'm not at danger of getting like obliterated outright, because one hit does get blocked by armor. The main thing I need to keep in mind is with barrels raining around me, that could kind of screw me up quite a bit. So I just want to make sure to check my surroundings as I fight stuff. And I'm definitely not going to be fishing for any driller procs. I'm going to be staying in a very safe spot, which seems to be right here. Yep, that was pretty okay. Okay, so there's a stamina. That's perfect. I'm going to take the extra rapid fire to help out with my attack speed, and I'm going to take the stamina. I think stamina is the best perk in the game. It just gives you so much more mobility. And as I said, you have like those invincibility frames on your dash, and that just kind of gives you more invincibility frames. As in a general rule, I like to take any island that's going to give me the most value, and usually that's going to be the island that gives me multiple chests, like this one. But I really don't need survivability, and going for a damage chest in lieu of that seems like a fair trade-off to me. Thought I saw a crab get behind me, but I must have died. Ooh. I might really just go full swing on Proving a Point and just not pick up formation mods at all. Still don't want mag shot. I don't want more spiral grenade because it could get pretty frustrating, so I think Red Fury is the play. Red Fury is not bad either. And here I'll go for the speed chest. I'm feeling pretty good about my build so far. I do think I probably could use a little bit extra damage. There's a fire pumpkin. I'm going to try to prioritize that. Cool. We'll just completely run away from everything, get to a better safe spot. Oh, there's a laser crab too. Yes. The time shot's really nice with rocket launcher too for the same reason where like I can hide around a corner, fire a shot off, and then duck back in, and time shot's going to be doing that damage over time. Like I can just kind of play it very safe. So I think what I really need is I still need some sort of like ammo retention. An all-you-can-eat would be great for that, but I would also take like obviously an ammo ring. I would take a ring of reloading would be pretty okay. I would even be okay with a few efficiencies because you get such good proc chance out of just one efficiency. And since I have time shot, each of those ticks will give me a chance to proc it. Here I think I'm going to go for the rapid fire and just keep the attack speed going. And I'm definitely going to do this horde as the last island in the biome, as well as a chance to try to get like an all-you-can-eat or something. It's kind of iffy. We're good though. I'm kind of keeping everything corralled in the middle here. Use that hammer tech to just jump over everything. I'll run around and try to get, yeah, some driller procs. Seems good, yeah. Nice. Pretty clean. What's this? Critical thinking? No thank you. I don't think I've ever taken critical thinking. Just hard to justify a lot of the time. There's a grenadier. Do I want that? Really? I think I'd rather take the Big Mag as like a pseudo solution to the ammo issue that I'm having. It'll at least sustain me for now. Reinforce seems like the great idea. 2 reinforce seems even better. I think this is a great opportunity to get rid of the vampire. I'm going to stick with 1 reinforce because I already have full armor and I don't really foresee myself losing too much health or too much armor anytime soon. I think Bullseye is still doing its thing. I'll pick up 1 because it's cheap. And I will grab this heart just to help out with my HP a little bit more. And I think, like I said, efficiency is 20%. Trying to see if it's going to proc. Maybe I was wrong about the ticks causing it to proc. You know, just ridiculously unlucky. Oh, there's one. Yeah, I may have been wrong about the ticks proccing it. Well, that's good to know. Is this where I enhance firework shot? I should enhance something just to show it off. This is definitely one of those builds where like I am super focused on the weapon damage. Which I think is how you should play it a lot of the time with rocket launcher. The weapon damage is so good, you can lean into it a lot more than you could for a lot of other weapons. So I don't necessarily need to enhance, but I will pick up this third firework shot and this lightning shot. That puts me at about 60%, which is starting to get into a territory where I can reliably proc it enough to justify enhancing it. So maybe on the next shop, once I loop back around, I'll do that. Just gonna run around a circle here. I'm actually making my way towards the launch pad. And we're just gonna get way into the air. Oh, got stuck in the column there. And then we'll just repeat that. Yeah, not too bad. Again, I'm going to be salvaging all these crystals. If you're going to pick up crystals at any point, it probably should be here, just because you'll get a nice burst of crystals. Or, I'm sorry, keys. What do we got for our legendary? These are great. These are awesome. But I am vindictive, so I'm not going to take any formation mods. These would both be really excellent mods to take down. This would really kick my build into gear. I think instead of that, I will take the Crystal Asteroids is pretty tempting, but I think I actually want to try Proximity Barrage. I'll have a decent chance of proccing it per shot, probably. And that's something that I can enhance later on and see if it's helpful at all. Alright, let's loop. Maybe this is where I'll take the formation mods, I don't know. Frankly, like, I think it's pretty clear that I'm doing pretty okay without them. I don't really need the extra shots for the AoE. I don't really need them for the single target either. Got hit for free there, that's too bad. Yeah, what I really need is just more global damage. I think some damage combos would go a long way right about now. Big Claws, no thank you. Escalating Shot, definitely no thank you. There's the damage combo. And I think I'll go... Oh, man. The parkour is super, super tempting, but I really could use the crit. I generally always go parkour, like, it's just a free island. But I have been sort of considering my stance on that because even though like parkour is like a free epic for the most part, you also lose out on a lot of crystals that you would have gotten for doing the island. So there are situations where I might not go parkour, like if I'm feeling particularly crystal starved. In this case, I really just want crit. I think a lot of my damage for a single target is going to come from the time shot crit combo, critical blast combo even. So I need to be able to proc that reliably. Nice, smart sharpshooter. This is definitely an elite island. This sounds miserable. I don't have any healing to deal with that, but I think I can easily handle an elite island. We got 2 barrel skulls and a poison grub. This actually might be best case scenario. It will be kind of dicey, but there's going to be a ton of barrels on the map and things will probably just kill themselves. So my main focus is just going to be to pop those barrels and stay alive. Which mostly is going to be avoiding barrel skull projectiles. Look, they have like 1,500 stacks of fire on them. They're undeniably going to die at some point. So I just need to be patient. The laser beam is kind of nice for the The crit build 2, nice, power armor, that's exactly what I needed. The crit build 2, because each of the ticks for this laser beam dome can also crit. Okay, okay, bubble shot could be fun. There's the crystal asteroids again. Yeah. I'm kind of tempted to take the money as power, actually. I've been having a higher opinion of money as power recently. It's a lot of damage for just one item. Like 200% global damage just right out of the gate. Pretty good. It is going to limit me to spending down to 100,000 crystals, but I'm also doing enough damage that I don't necessarily need to keep it active. And until then, it's just going to be a lot more damage. And I think Bubble Shot is the clear play here just to help me out with my single target a little bit more. Bubble Shot can be good on Rocket Launcher, but it is one that requires you to hit targets. So sometimes it's not as good as it is on like other weapons. Definitely going for the Flawless Crit here. The rest of my build is going to be heavily dependent on how much crit I can get. It's close. Ooh, okay, that was a lot of damage. Got another stamina, that's cool, down for that. Okay, so here I'll take a sharpshooter, but I think I actually do want to grab this power punch. I think power punch can be really useful on rocket launcher. Crit damage is just nice for amping up that base damage. Ooh, we did get an extra chest. Another driller, that's cool. I think it's a little too late to go for this elemental, so I think I'll just continue committing to the crit as much as possible. Plus it's a horde. Oh, another little pro tip, for these, actually for like any island, always turn around at the beginning, because there's a lot of islands where totems spawn behind you, and you'll definitely feel like an idiot if you like turn around and a fuse totem exploded behind you and you had no idea that you could have just like hit it for free. Oh, I never talked about water movement. I should get around to that. Yeah, we're doing a lot of damage. So, water movement. Water really slows you down. Like, if you're just normally walking, you can't slide in it either, so it just really slows you down. The one thing that's really useful about water is that when you land, you maintain a little, like you lose a little bit of your traction and maintain a little bit of movement forward. This is me not pressing the button at all. As opposed to when I land on just solid ground, I usually stop pretty immediately. So because of this, you have the opportunity to bunny hop. And if you alternate dashing in between these like little bunny hops, you start getting a lot of momentum going. And it turns into a really easy way to like move around in water. So if you struggle with water movement at all, definitely recommend doing that. Especially because like on a lot of these tropical biome islands, water is your safe place. I think I'm gonna do this parkour here. I have no desire to do the waves, since it will ultimately end with me getting an epic, and I feel pretty good about my money currently, so I don't really need the money from the waves. If you struggle with parkour maps at all, I really just recommend taking it really slow and steady. You have plenty of time to get to the end and get the epic chest, so you don't necessarily need to do anything super fancy. You don't need to try to like squeeze in as many dashes as possible. As long as you're landing and then sliding and you can make it to the next launch pad in that slide, you're golden. You'll make it in plenty of time. Ooh, Ring of Precision though. I think I'll go for the Critical Blast. Just to try to proc it as much as possible. That Ring of Precision sure was tempting though. Eagle Eye? Yeah, I'll take that. I am shooting things at range, and this is just 25% increased damage when it falls into that condition. Crystal combo for sure. Spark shot is really good. I think I'll take that. Do I want to drop something? Still haven't really picked up a great ammo generation source. Yeah, I'll just unlock the slot. Spark shot's really good. I think Spark shot might be like the best, one of the best mods in the game right now. Especially because it's enhanceable, and in fact I'm probably going to enhance it right now. Yeah, let's do it. So, like I said, you can just drop everything. You can tell if it's enhanceable by this little lightning bolt. Just drop everything in your inventory. I forgot about this proximity barrage. Woo. And until you only have like the spark shot left, and we'll hit this once because the totem's going to break, and we got snaking. There we go. This doesn't seem like it's going to matter too much on spark shot because they sort of like bounce around in a weird movement anyway. Yeah, that doesn't really matter too much, but what this does give is 50% more damage, so that spark shot just does more damage. These are kind of not great, actually. I guess I'll take the Big Mag, again, to help out with my ammo situation, but I'll stay at 100,000 to help out with the money is power, as well as my crystal dividends that I have. Got 2 poison grubs and a lightning crab. I'm gonna try to take out the lightning crab first. That'd be kind of tough. I don't know if I can do it without taking damage. Notice how I'm just kind of chilling behind that pillar for a brief moment. Wait until I feel like I have a good opportunity to move across. Not getting too crazy. Oh, that was dicey. I'm trying to cut across here. I'm trying to keep all 3 of them in front of me at the same time. For a moment there, I wasn't able to do that with the other poison grub, but we seem fine now. I think I do have a flawless ring. I should get 2 here. Yep, nice. Location ring. There's another arc shot, but I'm still vindictive. So we're gonna take the spark explosion instead of just help out with our laser beam. Damage shot, perfect. If rocket launcher is a great option to like lean into weapon mods and get that weapon damage going, damage shot is one of the best mods you can find. This is just 50 extra damage on each of my shots. That's gonna be great. I actually don't think I'm one-shotting things anymore. It might be time to get rid of that bullseye. Oh, actually I procced it there. If I time my laser beam at the same time, it looks like I can pull it off. Trying around, make sure there's no rocks like that, in case I get a driller proc. I probably don't want a streak shot. I think streak shot is pretty good, actually. On paper, it's pretty good. It increases your weapon damage by 5% for each shot that you hit. On rocket launcher, I think that does mean that you have to hit it directly, and it's not the AoE. So it's not that great, but on other weapons, you know, you're probably guaranteed to hit at least like 5 or 6 times, so it's just an extra little bit of damage. I think I'll go Eagle Eye here. Red Fury, if you level it up, it only increases the time that you have the buff active and not the damage increase, so like usually 5 seconds is enough. And here I definitely want to go for the double relic. That sounds awesome. Who knows, maybe I'll be lucky and get like Ring of Rocket Jumping. That could be fun, right? There's another map where I try to... There's like this little bit of a ledge right here at the where you spawn that I tend to play around. Critical thinking, no thank you. I do have quite a bit of lightning, but Coral Amulet is so good. I don't think I'm going to take that as much as I want to like amp up my lightning quite a bit. I got the lightning ring anyway. Yeah, I think that's the choice. So Ring of Gravity is like a really obvious choice here too. I think Ring of Gravity is generally an auto win. So if you find one, you know, feel free to take it. I tend to not like it because it slows down the game a lot for my taste. And for this particular run, again, I'm trying to avoid like getting super RNG lucky. And I don't want to auto-win just because of that. I think I am going to go for the lightning ring though, because I don't have any poison, but I am applying a lot of lightning. And this health chest is actually kind of tempting because it's a horde, and at this point, like, horde maps are the best way for me to get money. I'll go for this. Maybe I can find... Oh, maybe I can find an elite crystal. Or a challenge crystal, or whatever they're called. Maybe I can find a vitality or something. That could be a good way to justify going for the health chest, because that's just more damage. For this island, I tend to... There's like this little bit of a slope here that will let you jump over enemies, and as long as you can make it back up the slope, you can just do it again and repeat that in like kind of a figure eight. Flammable armor could be cool, but I don't think I care that much about it. Alright, let's hope I get a vitality. Nope, but I did get a fortitude. I think Bullseye only gives me 2 per one shot. Fortitude gives me 25. Yeah, I'm gonna sell the Bullseye. Oh, yeah, the double econ. This is gonna be risky, but I'm gonna go for it. I think I have enough AoE that I can actually, like, blow up explosive enemies very well. Again, I'm just coming up to these ledges, trying to use them as much as possible. Notice how, like, when I'm up on this ledge and the enemies are trying to get to me, they actually tend to stack themselves up. You don't want to have them stay in that spot for too long, because then anti-camping will kick in. But it can be a really easy way to, like, corral enemies instantly and then wipe them out with one shot with rocket launcher. It's almost like a pseudo-black hole in that regard, where things kind of get sucked into the middle of wherever you're... Oh, I got some flyers now, I guess. Alright, I'm probably gonna go for more crystal dividends. I think I'll actually pick up the crystal dividends here and then get this medium crystal bundle. It seems like a fair trade-off for me. This island can be kind of iffy. There's a couple strategies that you can take with it. You can hang out here in the middle, or where you spawn. It can be kind of dicey, and you kind of have to be good about making a little bit smaller movements to like jump over here, and usually like you kind of need stamina to do those reliably. If you don't like that, you can just hang out right here. Oh. Was I mistaken? Is that a poor piece of advice? I just use this launch pad over and over and shoot at stuff. And if you like are really desperate, like if it's a flawless island and you really need the flawless, you can use, I think, either this launch pad or the one that I was just on, and just hang out up here. You don't want to stay in one spot because they'll hunt you down and they'll jump up to you. So you just kind of like jump between these ledges, and usually you'll be pretty safe. You don't get any crystals, so like I wouldn't really recommend doing that a lot of the time. But if you're really desperate, that's the way to go. So like glue shot could be a pretty fair choice. I think I'm obviously gonna go for the time shot because my time shot build is like really kicking into gear now. Glue shot is okay for like the R shot combo. Got an extra chest too. The main thing about glue shot is that if it sticks to an enemy, the explosion is going to be delayed, so your ability to like reliably point at an area and blow it up is kind of diminished, and it's just something that you're going to need to keep in mind if you do that. I don't think the glue shot R shot combo is like as incredible on rocket launcher as it is on other weapons, so I tend to avoid it. We got some enraged grubs. The best strategy against enraged grubs is just to pick a direction and continue moving in it, and don't change directions. Same with minigun crabs. On this map, it's particularly easy just because that's what I'm doing anyway. I'll go lightning shot. And more crystal dividends for sure. High voltage. Yeah, sure. I have a lot of money. Just realized that. I don't need that, I'll just salvage that. Hopefully I find a banana to heal up completely, but I guess I don't necessarily need it. Double vision sounds great. At this point, I'm just like kind of in the end game now, and my build feels good, so I don't really feel too bad about just like punching it. I don't need more reinforce because I'm not really losing armor. Spark shot sounds great. Drill shot could be a really great choice in the same vein as bubble shot for like single target. Yeah, I'll pick that up, sure. Yeah, I'll take another money as power too. That's a lot of damage coming in. I'll grab one more heart. And then let's keep working on the spark shots. We got free. Oh, that was bubble shot. I still have the bubble shot. Huh, freezing. Homing on the spark shot. Homing on spark shot is like one of the best things you can get. You're gonna start seeing some crazy amount of damage. Notice how when it procs, they're all homing in on that target, and there's like a critical blast chain as a result. Yeah, this is pretty locked in. The freezing on the bubble shot's okay too. I think having some sort of freezing is totally reasonable. It can really save your ass. Particularly in like standard islands, like elites it's not going to be that useful against because they get frozen for a little bit and then they get they're immune to freeze in the same way that you are for a little bit. But on standard islands where like you might get some tough enemies like laser crabs or whatever, it can help you really control them. Again, notice that I'm not even really shooting at the pumpkin. I'm just kind of shooting at the ground. I probably should shoot at the pumpkin just because it's so big. These are kind of whatever. I think thorn shot's probably the best here, just outright, but it's not really that stellar on rocket launcher. Should have taken the banana, maybe. Oh, checklist is perfect. Checklist is like the best damage scaling mod in the game. If you can find it, if you get a checklist at any point, you probably should take it. That's also going to really increase the value of Fort Islands. I forgot to break cacti. At this point, like, pretty zoned into the idea that this is pretty locked in. I'm feeling my damage is really strong right now. We'll get the snake shot, I guess. Is that gonna be too much? It's kind of feeling like it might be too much. But again, I'm also just kind of shooting at the ground. Oh, wow, I got hit. The hell? Oh, it's the starfish over here. I'll take the banana, sure, why not? And imploding grenade, I don't think so. Combo ring, definitely, because I have a lot of combo coming in. I'll keep the damage combo going for that exact same reason, and I'll keep the damage combo going for that exact same reason. And yeah, we'll do damage chest. I wouldn't mind econ just for like more money is power support. Because that's probably going to be a big portion of my damage going forward. I also forgot that I have the Ring of Destruction, so I can do this. This is pretty silly. Yeah, that was fun. It was fun to do at least once. Fast shot, you know what? I actually will take the fast shot, if only because I have the money to burn, and it might help out with my, with balancing out like the snake shot and the chaotic shot that I have. More damage combo, definitely just gonna keep leaning into damage combo. At this point in the run, I am very likely to keep getting mods that I already have. And if I can just keep stacking damage combo as much as possible, then like I'll be golden for the rest of the run. I did not think I would hit that barrel. Easy. Got all this stuff I'm getting too. No thank you, glue shots. I have so much money. Still dividends. That's where it's at. Thank you. I don't think I want to buy a shot. Power punch sounds good. I'll take the armor. Just because I lost 2 there. Wow, more challenge crystals. I don't usually see 2 on an island, let alone 2 back to back. Not bad. Not bad at all. More rapid fire sounds great. This was a sharp shot. I'm probably going to salvage it because it's just not enough damage right now. More power armor sounds fine. We'll definitely do the crit here. This is going to be an iffy island, so I'm probably just going to stay up here as much as possible. Be mindful about the enrage grub. Just get rid of that real quick. This is where like having multiple staminas really comes in handy because I can just sort of hang out in the air, continuously move. I think here I'll take the sharpshooter. Got a lot of money, so I'm probably just gonna buy everything I can. Gemstone sounds great. I don't want firepower, that counts as a formation mod. Eh. Oh. I'm just gonna hit this as much as possible. And whatever it enhances, I'll just roll with it. What did I get? Electrifying and toxifying on proximity barrage, that's awesome. It's gonna be actually kind of good. Oh, I guess I don't have, oh, you know what I should do? I forgot that I had the lightning ring. I have a poison application on Spark Shot now, I'm pretty sure. Does not seem like it's applying though, that's interesting. Maybe that locks in at the start of the island. Oh, I don't. No, it's only coming from proximity barrage. Hold on to it. Where did I throw that? The lightning is treating me well. Oh yeah, I got the double vision proc too. Need ultra shots. I'll take the damage shot for sure. And I guess I'll take the spark explosion just because I'm too lazy. Health sounds good. More money as power sounds good too. The scatter shot would have been fun too. Oh, okay. More time shots and more time shots. The speed here. Try to get a supercharge maybe. This is another great island to exploit the launch pad. And even just kind of jump over to the other launch pad. The one like pro tip about the launch pads is if you land directly on a launch pad after using your slowdown like this, you can't slow down again. You have to touch the ground first. So you'll just want to make sure that you touch the ground right here-ish before you go into another jump. Because your slowdown is what really helps you stay in the air for as long as possible. More rapid fire. Surprised I haven't seen a supercharged yet. I didn't need to risk it, so I didn't feel like taking that other island. I'm obviously doing plenty of damage. Tasty orange sounds great. Yeah, that's just more damage for the most part. Double crit? Shrapnel homing thorns? On this map? Oh boy. Shrapnel homing thorns just really got to be careful about being in any sort of melee. If I need to cut across at any point, I'll just make sure to stop attacking. But it seems like we're good. We're just killing everything. Do more critical blast here and more sharpshooter here. Or power punch, I guess. We're just picking islands at this point. There's not really much thought about this. I think it's pretty locked in. On this island, a nice pro tip is that you can jump right here if things get too dicey, and this is sort of a safe spot. And while you're hanging out right here, enemies will stack below you and give you a little bit more room to work with. Hello. Probably gonna talk about some other tricks on this island because this is where this island can be pretty dicey. There's a lot of tricks that you can do to help out with that. So I tend to play along this ridge. Like I said, you can either, if you're standing like right here, you can just do a double jump into this and then jump up here. And this is usually a nice place to hang out, especially on horde islands. Like everything will stack up right there, and if you just shoot once with a rocket launcher, then you're probably going to be blowing up a lot of stuff. You don't want to stay here too long because things will start to like anti-camp and chase you down. So I usually just try to like jump between these and keep shooting down in this little valley below. If I get over here and things get too dicey, you can do the hammer jump trick that I told you about to make it right here. The alternative would be to try to like jump up here normally, and when you're in the middle of a firefight, doing that many jumps is kind of sketchy. So this is definitely where the hammer trick helps. I meant to take damage combo there, but oh well. Equalizer's not bad either. Should be good. This is pretty good. We'll see if I have a decent amount of single target DPS to help against the bosses. Sure do have a lot of money for how that happened. Hey, my supercharged. Nice of you to show up. And an arcane shot. Oh, the best enhancement totem I've ever had. Wow, that's crazy. Against the triple bosses, I usually just run around. If it feels like it's too dicey to move forward, just hang behind cover for a little bit, wait for them to use their attacks. Take it nice and slow, you know. And that's it. Press auto loot here, and that's all she wrote. So yeah, big thing, especially with rocket launcher, that I want to show is like you don't need that arc shot, that split shot. I think the only formation mod that I arguably got was like the scatter shot, which granted is pretty nice with the piercing shot, but I could have easily done this without it. I think the biggest thing that influenced this run was probably the time shot. Regardless, rocket launcher is definitely one of those weapons where you probably want to lean a little bit more into weapon mods and increasing your base damage than trying to like get proc mods like you would on a lot of other weapons. And as you can see, it took really no time at all for my damage to start ramping up so much that I just click a spot and everything in that area kind of just dies. So hopefully this helped. If you struggle with rocket launcher at all, like I think this is the run for you. There's a lot you can do with rocket launcher. I think it has a lot of potential, even though it kind of struggles in that single target area. And yeah, if you have any comments or feedback, feel free to leave them. And as always, please respect and enjoy the crab.